class finished up the first chapter, then starting with the second chapter, that is transportation problem. So the transportation problem appears for 16 marks in the university question paper. I'm going to say one question carrying 16 marks. That one question is being divided into two, either it is A and B or A, B, C. Fine. So what is this transportation problem? So I think by looking into the name of the chapter only, we can decide. So there is a problem in the transportation. Fine. Absolutely, it is a problem in the transportation only, but in a different manner. Fine. So let us start. What is this transportation problem is all about? So the simplex method algorithm could be used for what? The simplex method algorithm could be used for solving any linear programming problem, and we can get solution for that linear programming problem using simplex algorithm. Fine. So this is what we have learned in the first chapter. What happens if the number of the variables and constraints increases? So what is the maximum number of constraints we have solved in simplex method? Maximum we have solved only 3 constraints in the simplex method. But what happens if there are 5 constraints? If there are 6 constraints? What happens if the objective contains 10 constants, 4 constants, 5 constants? So the number of variables and constraints increases, the computational cost also increases. Fine. The computational cost also increases, and it becomes very difficult for us to find a solution. Computational cost becomes very hard. Therefore, whenever we have possibility, we will try to simplify the calculations. So one such requiring simplified model, or one such requiring simplified calculations is called as distribution model, or it is called as transportation model. Fine. So to simplify the calculations, if there are more number of constraints, more than 5, more than 6, 7, 8, and variables are also more, then solving those problems using simplex method becomes very tedious, very long, computational cost becomes very high. So to simplify those type of problems with more constraints and more constants, so we come across distribution model or transportation model or transportation problem, or model it is. First of all, it is model. So it deals with the transportation of product available at several sources to a number of different destinations. What happens here? So it deals with the transportation of available sources from source to available destinations. Fine. So let me write all these things points. So because we have to note it down, is it? So the simplex algorithm simplex algorithm is used for what? Solving LPP. But what happens if more number of constants and constraints then what happens? Then computational cost is very high. So to simplify the computational cost, what we do? we use distribution model or transportation model. What this transportation model does? Fine. Transportation of a product. Available at several sources to a number of different destinations. Fine. And the next thing is that the transportation model is widely used for variety of situations. So, used in variety of situations. Used in variety of situations, such as what are the variety? Scheduling production, followed by production, investment, followed by plant location, allocation, followed by inventory, control, employment scheduling, employment scheduling, personal assignment, product mix problem, etc. Fine. So there are many applications of the transportation model is used for variety of what situations such as scheduling. So scheduling of employees, here it is employment scheduling. So at what time you are supposed to call the employees? Presently most of the IT companies are scheduling their employees and telling their employees to work from home. So how to get the work done from the employees in the home? Fine. There comes production. So what product has to be produced more here? Presently the sanitizer, soaps, hand wash, fine, masks are being produced extensively. Fine. Then comes investment. So we have to invest now. So at this time of corona, we have to invest the money. Fine. So plant location, we have to set up the new plant. So is it okay for that plant? Is it okay for that geographical area? So whether we get the employees, skilled employees there. Fine. Like that, inventory control, product mix problem. So what is the ratio of the products to be mixed? So these are all different in a variety of situations we can use transportation model. So but what is the objective of transportation? There comes the question, what is an objective? The objective is that minimize the cost of minimize the cost. But what cost? What we are supposed to minimize? Minimize the cost of transportation while meeting the requirement. Minimize the cost of transportation. Minimize the cost of transportation while meeting the requirements at the destination.